School memories unlocked. As a 21-year-old who went to a British school, I have a lot of key memories that I made as a kid, and they're really nice to look back on. I assume a lot of you will be able to relate to these, especially if you went to the school in the UK. Let me know if you can relate to any of these. We went a bit scriptless with this video, so I've listed loads of things and put them into little subcategories. I'm just going to talk about them free flow. Let's go. First off, we've got the tech related things. So remember like when Kahoot first came out, everyone was playing that game. Everyone was like making the fake names and stuff. It was hilarious. Like people were making like the dodgy names, like some of these on screen and stuff like that. It was hilarious. But when you did a Kahoot in class, you knew it was the best day. And then in IT, when you spent the whole lesson like logging in, everyone was doing their work and the teacher was trying to help you log in. You couldn't log in, trying to put your password in, never worked. Reset the password, didn't work. Trying to get the IT tech, it just never worked. It was crazy. It was a bit annoying sometimes, but like it was also fun if you didn't want to do the work. And then at IT again, playing games in IT and trying to be sneaky with it. Like if you got caught, it felt like the end of the world. But us, like we'd be trying to play some games. Like every time I was in computer science, trying to load up classic.minecraft.net, and I was convinced it would work, but it just never did. Next, we've got the food related things. So when you're in primary school, like a lot of people have school dinners. And remember when you get like that corner piece of the cake with all the crispy bits and the pink custard as well, that was quality. I don't know about anyone else's school, but sometimes they'd run out of cake and then you just had a bowl of custard. It was still good, but it was like, there's no cake. It was a bit sad. And those pizza bagels or baguettes, I don't understand why they were so good. They were like probably the most low effort thing to make, but they were just incredible. For music related things, I was looking like the school disco. I remember the cha-cha slide would be on over and over again. You'd be devouring sweets, crisps, and sweating like mad. And then in music, like actual music lessons and stuff like that, pressing the demo button on the keyboards and music, and the teacher would go ballistic when it happened. There was always that little one edgy kid who'd do it, and it was just really funny. But then we also had this thing called Live Lounge at the end of our school like term. And we had to do a performance to the class. I remember like every single practice lesson would just be messing about and doing nothing. Say we're going to do this song, but then we change our mind. And then eventually actually come to the day where we had to perform and we had nothing. Like I remember I was just playing some random beats on the African drums. And then not quite actually music related, but making music with rulers. I remember doing the Darth Vader theme on a ruler on the edge of a table, and it sounded incredible. He may have just been John Williams at that point. I've got injuries. Remember like when you'd go to first aid, you thought you'd broke your leg or something like that, and then they would just give you a wet paper towel and they'd be like, yeah, it's all fine now. But I remember my mate telling me that he actually had a wet paper towel given to him and he actually broke his foot. And then he went back into the school the next day or something with like crutches and everything. And the school never knew that he'd actually broke his foot, which is crazy. Then also the story of the kid who cracked the head open when leaning back on the chair. When some kids would be leaning back on the chair, the teacher would be like, oh, you need to stop that. I know one kid who fell off the chair and broke his head. Probably never happened really, did it? But it was just a way of scaring the kids off. Now we've got the events. So sports day. That was a good one. I really enjoyed sports day. Because like when I was in primary school, when I was in the younger ages, so like the key stage 1, I think it is. I was like the fastest kid in the year. So when I did the 100 meters, well, I say 100 meters, probably wasn't 100 meters, probably like 20 meters realistically or something like that because we're only so young. But I won that so easily, the running race. The difference between me and second place was like disgusting. I was too good at it. Can't remember if my school did it, but I'm aware that some schools do like the parents race as well. And hopefully like when I have kids on Armada, I want to enter the parents race and win it for my kid. And he'll have the bragging rights for maybe about 6 months for that. The fun day, they were cool. I think most schools did them where they had like the fair and like the weird performances and throw the sponge at the teacher and selling cakes, selling all this random stuff. The sponsored walk and run. Now that one was a bit like, I didn't really care about it too much, but I know you were just meant to walk around the field or run around the field and stuff. Me and my friend took that one really literally because they were like, oh, you walk around the field and then you get sponsored and stuff. But we took it so literally that we wanted to go to every single corner of the field because we were a bit weird like that. We weren't too smart, but we were a bit too smart. Like we were a bit cocky with it. We were the clever kids in the school and we wanted to take things literally. The Harvest Festival, that was when everyone had to bring loads of food and cans and stuff like that. It wasn't like crazy, but like I just remember that being like a memory in school. Every year they'd have that. And then at the same time in the school assembly, they'd be singing the Harvest Festival song. School trips. Now, I really like school trips. Any of the day trip or the one when you go for a week. I think they were so cool. I can't really remember where we went off the top of my head for like the day trips and stuff. But I remember the ones where we went away for like a week. We went to a place called Chasewater and we went to a place called Lach's Wood and they were really good. For Chasewater, it was like we were all in this massive dorm with everyone in there. Then late Chiswood, it got a bit more independent, where it was still like gender separated, but like you choose like 5 or 6 mates and you all sleep in your own room. Still all the shared bathroom and that, but it felt like you were just having a big sleepover with your mates, really. It was so cool. And we were playing Adventure Time Card Wars because I brought that with me. And we were staying up late, eating sweets. Just doing all like the crazy stuff that we never really could have done by ourselves if we were just at home. Toy Day. Toy Day was a good one. It was just a whole day to just do whatever. Like, it was no lessons. It was just bring your toys in. The main thing that I brought in on Toy Day, I remember, was like Beyblades. Beyblade was like something that a lot of people had. So everyone could just play against each other and find out who was the best blader in town. I remember winning a lot. I was a bit obsessed with Beyblades when I was younger. And I still am, to be honest. Finally, we're on the miscellaneous section because I couldn't really think about anything to label these things as. So we got wet break. That was like, it was a hit and miss, really. Like, if it was a good wet break and they had some good things to do inside, it was fun. But realistically, when you're a kid, you want to be outside all the time, so you wanted to play. So it was a bit annoying sometimes. But I remember watching like Fireman Sam on the TV on the trolley. I remember that. Heads down, thumbs up. Now, that was a classic game there where everyone puts their heads down on the table, put your thumb up. You got a few people at the front, they go around, they pinch your thumb. If you can guess that it was who it was, then you win. And then you get to go and do that thing that they were doing, and you have to swap with them. But then, like, some kids would be cheating, like, they'll be having, like, the eyes closed. They actually just had the head in their hands, and they were looking at, like, the shoes and work out who it was by cheating, by just knowing who it was. Oh, getting to year 6 and being able to sit on the benches. Like, I remember when we was in, like, year 3, see the year 6s, they were sitting on the benches thinking they were living the life. And then when you get to year 6, you get to do the same thing. And to be fair, it was a lot better because sitting on the floor just wasn't fun. That massive parachute thing, like, I'm going to put it on screen, like that big rainbow thing. I never really understood what it actually was, but I just remember when they got it out, I think we were in like reception or year 1, and then they put it up and then everyone sits on it, and then just underneath this big den thing. Never understand what it was, but I just remember that being a big memory. The after school clubs. I remember being in a few after school clubs. I did the sports ones, like multi-skills, I think it was called. Realistically, it was just sports in it, and you could just do whatever sport you wanted on the day. It was good fun, to be fair. The apparatus, it was called at my school, but that weird climbing frame in the hall that was never used. Maybe like in PE, in your whole primary school experience, you got to use it like once, and then you're just going up like some weird ladders, climbing like all of it. And then you'd be on it for like 10 minutes, and then you have to come off because then the next group of people need to go on. It was always just there in the hall, but it just never really got used properly. Calibrating the whiteboard, the touchscreen whiteboard with the pen thing, you press all the corners to calibrate it. And I remember the kids would always want to do it, and the teacher would like pick someone to do it. I don't remember actually ever doing it myself. I don't think I did. That's everything I've got written on my list. I hope you guys can relate to some of these. If you've got any other memories, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Maybe I'll make another video on it in the future. Yeah, thanks for watching.